A finance clerk gets an email from the CEO, urgent, confidential, wire $400,000 before end of day, don't call, just do it. No malware, no attachment, just social engineering and a spoofed name. By the time anyone calls to verify, the money is gone. Welcome to Objective 5.1 Email Threat Detection and Analysis. This is where you spot phishing and BEC red flags, trace a message by its headers, read SPF, DKIM, and DMARC results, crack open malicious attachments and URLs, and scope a campaign from gateway logs. The exam throws raw headers at you. Let's learn to read them. Start with the message level red flags, because most attacks wave several at once. Urgent language manufactures time pressure to bypass your thinking. A mismatched display name versus the actual address, from say CEO John Smith, but the address is some random Proton Mail account. Lookalike domains via typo squatting. PayPal with a 1, micro 0ft. Homoglyph attacks swap in Unicode characters that look identical, like a Cyrillic A inside PayPal. Generic greetings like Dear Customer. Suspicious links where hover reveals a different destination. Unexpected attachments, especially macros or double extensions like statement.pdf.exe. And the big one, a reply to that differs from the from a, so your reply lands with the attacker. Know your phishing types, because the exam makes you name them. Plain phishing is mass and untargeted. Low sophistication, broad net. Spear phishing targets a specific person or org, high effort, tailored. Whaling goes after C-level executives, very high sophistication, the path to BEC. Vishing is voice a phone call. Smishing is SMS text. Clone phishing replicates a legitimate email the victim already received, swapping the link or attachment for a malicious one. The distinguishing axis is always target plus sophistication, mass versus individual versus executive, low effort versus highly crafted. Match the description to the term, and you bank the point. Business email compromise, BEC, is the money mover, and the key fact is it needs no malware. It runs on social engineering and spoofed or compromised accounts. CEO fraud impersonates the chief executive to hit the finance department for a wire transfer. Invoice fraud impersonates a vendor with updated payment details to redirect a real payment from accounts payable. W-2 theft impersonates the CEO or HR to pull employee tax data for identity fraud. Attorney impersonation invokes a time-sensitive legal matter. Account compromise uses a real internal mailbox for high-trust fraud. The indicators, urgent wire requests, demands to change payment details, pressure to bypass approvals, free webmail for business, and no phone number to verify. Now the skill the exam tests every time, header analysis. Email headers are read bottom to top. Each received header is stamped by a mail server as the message passes through. So the bottom entry is the origin and the top is the final hop. Bottom to top is chronological order. So if the bottom received shows a Russian SMTP server, that is where it really started, no matter what. From claims. The headers you must know. From can be spoofed. Return path is the envelope sender and more reliable. Reply. To is a red flag when it differs from. And X-Originating-IP is the most forensically valuable header. It carries the true sending client or server IP. Authentication results carries your SPF, DKIM, and DMARC verdicts. Decode the authentication trio. And the exam will test the difference. SPF, Sender Policy Framework, validates that the sending server is authorized for the domain using a DNS text record of allowed IPs. DKIM, Domain Keys Identified Mail, validates message integrity. With a cryptographic signature, the receiver checks against a public key in DNS. DMARC, DMARC, sets the policy when SPF or DKIM fails, none, quarantine, or reject, and enables reporting. The killer concept is alignment. DMARC requires the authenticated domain to match the from domain. So a message can pass SPF and still fail DMARC when the SPF authenticated domain doesn't align with from. A DMARC policy of reject is the strongest protection. Attachments lie about what they are, so never trust the extension. Use magic bytes, the file signature. A PDF starts with hex 255044446, that's %PDF. A zip and every Office open XML doc like a docs starts with 504B, that's PK. A Windows executable starts with 4D5A, that's MZ, so a renamed .exe is still an executable. For macro-laced Office docs, run olevba from OleTools to extract and decompile the macro and hunt for shell, wscript.shell, create object, base64 strings, and auto-run triggers like auto-open and document open. Use PDF ID and PDF parser on PDFs. When in doubt, detonate it in any.run, hybrid analysis, or cuckoo and read the dropped files and callbacks. URLs need the same paranoia. Expand shortened links without visiting them. Check short URL, unshortened.me, or curl-I to read the headers. Check reputation against VirusTotal, URL scan.io, and Google Safe Browsing. URL scan and any .run let you see the landing page from a safe distance. Whois gives you registration date and registrar. A domain born yesterday is a giant red flag. CRT.sh shows certificate transparency, and passive DNS reveals the domain's history. And watch for homoglyph URLs. That Cyrillic A in Amazon looks identical to the Latin one. Paste suspicious links into a Unicode-aware editor or an IDN checker to expose the imposter characters hiding in plain sight. When one phish lands, your job is scope. How many users got it? Pivot through your email gateway logs on the key fields, timestamp for the timeline, the envelope sender versus display name, recipient for scope, subject to cluster the campaign, source IP for attribution, attachment file name and hash, the extracted URL list, and the action taken, delivered, quarantined, blocked, or stripped. Then run the scope search 5 ways: by sender address, both envelope and display, by subject, exact and fuzzy, by attachment hash, the SHA-256, by URL, exact domain and path, and by source IP. For every match, determine delivery status and whether the user opened or clicked. That tells you who to reset and who to warn. In one breath, red flags are urgency, lookalikes, homoglyphs, and a reply to that differs from. Phishing types run mass to spear to whaling. BEC needs no malware. CEO fraud hits finance. W2 theft hits HR. Read headers bottom to top. X-Originating-IP is gold. SPF checks the server. DKIM checks integrity. DMARC enforces policy and demands alignment. Identify files by magic. Bytes, not extension. Olevba cracks macros. Expand URLs safely. Scope a campaign by sender, subject, hash, URL, and source IP. You can now unmask the phish. Next up, Objective 5.2. Email incident containment, where you quarantine, claw back, and lock the attacker out for good.